All right. Good morning, everybody, and welcome. As you know, I always have these conversations, here on LinkedIn, just, help people in the workplaces, like your employees, your leaders, organizations themselves, And, our theme this month is Stress Awareness Month, and, we just want to break the stigma around stress and just help people out there to manage their stress at work. So welcome again. My name is Kamachelo and I'm from Vela Personal, and I always have these sessions like I said. And today we're having a very good topic. It's all about building strong, adaptable and mentally resilient teams. So today our conversation is not just about, I could say, building the strong, adaptable, mental, resilient teams, but we want to have a conversation that many organizations are quietly struggling with, and it's yeah, these issues they are not addressed effectively. And what I'm talking about is building teams that are not just productive but they are resilient. Because the reality is, we are operating in high pressure environment and deadlines are getting tighter, expectations are getting higher and change is constant. Ever since COVID, I've seen this myself, and in South Africa, especially, specifically, the pressure is more layered, there's economic uncertainty, there's job insecurity, and these are all increasing workloads that are contributing factors. And there's an insight that I read from Stat Essay, that says that there's a consistent highlight of rising stress levels and mental health challenges, in the workplace. So the let's just ask these questions to ourselves, The real question is whether stress exists, it's whether are we equipping our teams to handle that stress? And today, the theme of the month also is less stress, more strength. So we are here to build, I could say, organizations and teams so that they can tackle stress to their best capability, And I have a guest with me today, and I think she can introduce herself and tell us what she does. So, welcome, Randy.
Hi, Kamo. Thank you so much.
Welcome,
Yes, so my
welcome.
name is Kitu Karendani, a designated specialist wellness counselor, one of the leading voices on workplace resilience, helping people to come from burnout to bounce back.
Wonderful, wonderful. Powerful
Yes,
intro. So yeah, I think me and Rendani, what we're gonna be talking about today is, what workplace resilient actually means,
yes,
we're gonna be talking about the emotional intelligence in high pressure
mm,
environments, because I think
mm,
that's a very nice topic we can talk about also or discuss,
definitely.
Yes, and
Yes.
there's a one that I think someone also requested was strategies for managing stress in
Mm,
teams. So that one will be a nice discussion we're gonna have around, okay? And we're also gonna be
yes.
thinking about leadership behaviors that build and break resilience because in every organization,
Mm,
the leader and employees will follow the leader. So we wanna hear from them
definitely.
also when we are engaging, like what it will actually break build resilience. And also,
Yes,
we were talking about creating sustainable, high-performing work environments.
yes,
That's good. That's good. Yeah, I think
yes,
we can
definitely.
really, really let's dive into it right now.
Yes.
And
I
everybody.
hope people are ready and they are going to be taking notes so that they can be able to tangle around challenges and stress at work.
Wonderful, wonderful. So let's
Yes.
get into it, because when we talk about resilience in the workplace, there's often a
Mm,
misconception. So it's not about pushing through exhaustion. It's not about toughening it out.
Yes.
I could say real resilience is about adaptability. So I want
Mm.
to ask you, what does workplace resilience actually look like, in practice?
I really like that. I think firstly, like you already said, let's look at what resilience is, what we mean when we talk about resilience, right? We are talking about the ability to recover quickly from difficulties or bounce back from stress and challenges. Let's face it, for anyone who is working, who is a leader, who is a manager, I'm sure they've had their moments of stress, their moments of challenges, but
Yeah.
the most important part is what you do when you are in that moment of stress and challenges, how you come out, bouncing back, as we already mentioned. So let's looking at what it looks like at work. It looks like a team working together. It looks like a team trying to fight the problem and not fight one another. I think that answers your question as to how it looks when it comes to at work. It's a team
Mm.
working together and fighting the problems and not one another.
Okay. Because I
Yes.
also think workplace resilience goes beyond, just coping with stress. It's the ability
Yes.
of individuals and teams to adapt, to
Yes.
recover quickly from setbacks or from a
Mm,
deadline that just came out of the blue, and
yes.
they should still continue, performing effectively during, uncertainty or change. So I think that uh,
Definitely.
we can call workplace resilience.
Yes, definitely. I think also we can try to break it down this way, right? Let's say that for persons to person or for people, it's about staying strong and adapting after a tough situation. And then we talk about in terms of a system, that's like returning to normal after being damaged or stretched. And then also the emotional part where you are able to cope with pressure and adversity. So I think we can try to break it down in that level.
That's true. That's true. Because I
Yes.
also read, from a research from the University of Cape Town, it has shown that, organizations that prioritize adaptability, and
Mm,
psychological safety,
mm.
outperform those that rely purely on pressure-driven performance. So
Yes,
I think adaptability also, it's a powerful word that we should look into because imagine you're working
definitely.
in a high pressure environment, like
Mm,
uh, uh, in that environment, we all know maybe employees are not taken care of, and then that's why they stress and they break down. And so, if
mm.
you have a team that can adapt very quickly, I think
Yes,
you have shown them that they can push through and have that resilience.
definitely. Definitely.
So true resilience is proactive. It's not reactive, because
Yes.
built into culture and not only activated during crises. So, that's true resilience, guys.
Definitely. Yes. When we speak, when you say it that way, it's more of, it's sort of like a habit. A habit, it's a reputation of something, doing something over and over again, because no one is perfect when it comes to it. And then the more you do it, the more you get used to it, and it becomes sort of like a habit, and then it becomes part of you, and now you are able to practice resilience well.
Wonderful, wonderful. Awesome
Yes.
about that. So right now, maybe we can look into the signs of, HR that they often miss it, when it comes to
Mm.
stress and resilience. So I just want to ask you before we go into it, why is more
Yes.
emotional intelligence, why is it critical in high pressure workplaces?
Why is what?
Why is emotional intelligence critical in high pressure places or workplace?
Okay. I think firstly, let's have an understanding of what are we talking about when we talk about emotional intelligence. We are talking about the ability to recognize, understand, and manage emotions,
Mhm.
yours and other people's as well. So that is very much important. So we can try to break it down into four aspects why emotional intelligence is important. it's important for your self-awareness, where you are able to spot your emotions and you are able to be in touch with your emotions. And then looking at self-management as well, where you do not suppress it and also you don't vomit it to other people, but rather you channel it. Because, sometimes, we get to the fight and flight mode where we'd end up saying things that, you're not supposed to say, where it ends up not being professional and stuff like that. So self-management is very much important. And also looking at social awareness, you must learn how to study the room, because
Yeah.
with that ability, you will know how to engage, you will know if you should speak, you will know if your tone is okay and all that. So social awareness is also important as well. And then relationship management as well is important, where now you are able to resolve the conflict so that you can be able to manage the relationship. So emotional intelligence is very much important because it will help you in situations when you are stressing or when you are having challenges. You will know how to engage, or you will know how to handle the problems or how to come out of those challenges.
Because,
Yes.
in high pressure environments also, technical
Hmm.
skills alone are not enough. Let's
Yes.
just be honest. What really determines how teams function under pressure, like you were saying,
Mm.
is emotional intelligence. And
Yes.
it's something, particularly from the Gordon Institute business of, the university, they talk about
Mm.
emotional intelligence, like, teams they communicate better under pressure because
Definitely.
this deadline it has to be done now. So communication will be flowing. Everybody will be talking
Yes.
with each other, and
Yes.
also talk about they handle conflict more constructively because
Yes.
we'll be fighting right now, but
Mm.
just to get this deadline. But when you come back tomorrow in the morning or in tomorrow's meeting, you have to act like nothing happened. You can't hold that grudge because I called you a B word and then we were under pressure. We were under pressure. So I think
Yes, definitely. No,
emotional.
but I even like the fact that you are saying that you act, because that's the thing. If something happened and it didn't sit well with you, and then you go home, you mustn't force yourself to be okay. It's important that you are able to engage. That's about self-awareness. You are able to engage, to communicate about your feelings and your emotions. Because let's face it, when emotionally you are not okay, a lot of things doesn't go well.
Yeah.
So if someone hurt me or they said something that didn't sit well with me, I go home, I come back, I'm still filled with that anger. The chances are you won't even be able to concentrate well. When you're looking at that person, they're going to ruin your mood. So it's not just about tapping out and coming back. That is where emotional intelligence applies, where you have to have like self-awareness, to know what you're feeling, to
Mm.
allow yourself to feel what you're feeling, because it's important. It will help you on knowing what your next move is, because if you suppress it, it's going to be a problem. You must channel it.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful.
Yes.
Because teams with strong emotional intelligence, they experience
Mm,
less conflict, there's better
mm,
collaboration, like I was saying, and
mm.
there's high trust amongst themselves, especially
Yes.
during the high stress periods, because I can
Yes.
actually, work with my teammate and we'll get this done.
Mm,
Yes. So
definitely.
it also
You
comes.
know how to balance one another.
Yes, that's true. That's
Yes.
true. So when it comes to, leadership behaviors that break or, that build or break resilience,
Mm,
I think that's what we're going to be talking about right now. And,
yes.
just to ask you a question on that, what
Mm,
leadership behaviors, what do they strengthen? How do they strengthen resilience? And,
mm.
which ones undermine it?
Okay. Let's look at that part, right? I think, are we looking firstly on some of the things that maybe the HR misses
Uh,
and that actually breaks resilience?
yes, 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 yes.
Okay, I think let's start with that one, and then we can go to what can actually strengthen
And then,
resilience, right? Yes.
okay.
So one for sure that even if I ask anyone right now to say which one do you think it is, I'm sure everyone in their mind they're thinking absenteeism.
Yeah.
You know, when you start coming up with stories for you not to show up at work and all that, that is another part of, you know, that's another thing that the HR tend to miss, absenteeism. But
Mhm.
besides absenteeism, there's something called presenteeism. That is another thing that the HR gets to miss, because someone is showing up at work. It looks like, oh, you know, it means that they're good, you know, they've got it figured out, you know, and all that. But their mind is not there. Their mind is not at work. You know, they're carrying so much weight, or rather, they have so many stress and all this. So, presentism also, it's another thing as well. And then also quiet high performance, right? So, there are those people that, you know, they are, I can't say perfectionist, you know, but they like to get the work done. You know, it's like with whatever work that they're given, they just have
Mhm.
solutions, or they are working towards it and all that. And they are very quiet, you know, they don't like to engage that much. They just want to get the work done. With that, in most cases, HR would look at it and think that, you know, they've got it figured out. They're okay. They're all good. But only to realize that those people are actually, you know, running away from stress, challenges, because of the fear that they have, maybe the fear of losing their job, the
Mhm.
fear of, you know, there's so many fears that are created. So we can say that also quiet high performance as well. And another thing is, let's say in a meeting, right? One thing that HR gets to miss, it's in a meeting when there's engagement there, and then people are not responding, they're not saying no, they're not disagreeing to a thought and all that. It's like, oh, it means that those people get it, it means that they understand and all that. You know, that is another thing, because you would find that they are, it's either they fear the HR, now they're not able to express, or they're not able to come up with a thought, or rather with an idea and stuff like that. So sometimes not saying no or not engaging, it doesn't mean that they understand,
Right.
you know. It
Yeah.
can happen that they have so many ideas at the back of their mind, but they're fighting with their thoughts, like, if I say this, are they gonna, is he gonna fight me, is he gonna understand, and all those things, you know. So sometimes with no engagement in meetings and all that, it's another sign that shows that, um you know,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
resilience. And then when it comes to the part of building, more than anything, communication is very much important.
Mm.
Allowing your team to communicate, it's very much important, because that way you will be able to know what is happening, what is lacking, what improvements needs to be done, and understanding, because sometimes HR handles team as a team and not really as individuals, because some people are actually good in certain aspects. So if you're able to notice them, you know, it increases the chances of resilience as well, you know. And another thing is being biased. There's always that one person that is always being praised, and then other people are also pushing, they're also working, but they're never noticed, you know. That thing can actually pull down the performance, because to them it comes as, no matter how much effort I put in, I'm never going to be recognized.
Mm.
So even if I put in the work, he's
So
not going to recognize me.
yeah, yeah, and employees significantly, they just want to be, heard. They want to be supported,
Yes.
and
Mm,
when they get these things, they will be engaged and also resilient. And when they
yes,
feel like that, I think they will have a very proactive team.
definitely. And another thing also that breaks resilience is, there have been a lot of cases of employees complaining about how one person is given work for two people. Let's say you would
Mm.
find that someone quit their job, and then now they don't hire anyone, or they don't hire someone new, and then they just divide the work to the people that are already there. And then because of that, now it's just increasing pressure at work. Now people can't really concentrate, and that's the thing, they can't say no, you know. And
Mhm.
that, going back to not saying no, and HR thing, thinking that they've got it figured out, and then in that moment it's just because they're suppressing their feelings and their emotions, and they want to get the work down because of the fear of losing their work, you know. So dividing work as well and giving it to one person, that
Mhm.
breaks it a lot as well. I think that is something that is important as well.
Wonderful, wonderful. Because,
Yes.
I would also say, one of the most critical
Mm.
factors, in team
Yes,
resilience is, leadership behavior. Also,
definitely.
because leaders also, leaders don't just manage performance,
Mm,
shape the emotional climate in the organization. So if
mm,
leaders are reactive, unclear,
mm,
inconsistent, and
mm,
stress, you know, there's gonna be stress amongst multiple teams in the organization. So
definitely.
when leaders are grounded, they are transparent and supportive, the teams will
Mm,
stabilize and, there won't be so much uncertainty because,
mm,
I could tell you now, né? So resilience doesn't start at employee level. It starts
yes,
at leadership level. So
definitely.
everybody in the leadership is focused, they know what to do. I then
Mm,
the whole
mm,
organizations, like I think will have, you'll see proactive employees.
mm, definitely. Definitely.
Because, employees, they mirror whatever leadership does. So if
Mm.
they panic, then, everybody will panic.
Yes. And then also another thing that is also important when it comes to another thing that actually breaks resilience is micromanagement, right?
Mm.
There's a say that says that micromanagement is like medicine.
Hmm.
Perfect dose, short term.
Hmm.
So, meaning that when it starts off, it's not really bad, because they're trying to check, are you adapting? Are you left behind with anything? Do you need help with anything? But the more they do it, now it becomes a problem because that is wherein it starts breaking the trust.
Hmm.
But before we can go more deeper into that, let's look at what actually contributes into, why managers do that.
Yeah.
Anxiety, the anxiety of what if this fails? I'm going to be responsible.
Uh,
Another thing would be perfectionism, where nobody can be able to do it my own standard. That is the biggest problem because now that is where in there they're always checking to say, yo, is this person doing it the way that I'm going to like it and stuff like that? And also looking at lack of trust. And another thing is pressure above what's this pressure from the above. Let's say that it's the HR and then there's another manager who's giving them pressure and all that, and then now they are there behind their employees micromanaging them and all that. So micromanagement as well is a problem, but like I said, it's like a medicine. The dose matters, how
mm.
often they're doing it matters, how they're doing it matters. But micromanagement, it kills the trust, and if the trust is broken, it means that now an employee will be held back when it comes to a lot of things, when it comes to ideas, when it comes to doing the work right, because they
Yeah.
always feel like there must be an opinion of the HR. If the HR doesn't say this is the work, it means that it's not the work. It's like you don't have it figured out until the HR says you do. So it kills the confidence.
Okay. I'm glad you
Yes,
actually touched on micromanagement. I'm sure the
yes.
managers are listening right now. I'm like, what is that? What is that? Hey. So yeah, you heard it from Rendani, guys. Micromanagement that
Yes.
breaks resilience in teams. So I know a lot of people they actually relating to this.
Definitely. I mean, we've all been there. I'm sure you've been there.
Yeah, I've been there. I've been there. Hey. So yeah.
Definitely. And
Yeah.
also looking at it when it starts, it's actually good because when it comes to any job, obviously you need to learn. There are things that you have to learn and all those things. So you do need it. But, if it's overdone, that's when it becomes a problem.
Mhm.
Yes.
Wonderful. Now that we know, what is actually breaking resilience and what actually
Mm,
builds resilience, I think it's time now we can give out our insights and knowledge on, strategies for managing stress in teams. Okay.
mm,
Yes, because
mm,
effective stress management requires both structural and behavioral
Mhm.
approaches. So,
Yes.
my question to you would be, what are the practical strategies that organizations can implement to help teams manage stress, effectively?
Because you're speaking to a wellness counselor, the first thing would be there are companies that did introduce, wellness team and all that. But the lack of psychoeducation, we face this one a lot. A wellness team is very much important at companies so that people can be able to book for sessions and all that. But psychoeducation is important
Mhm.
because you would have the wellness team at work, but people are still scared to book for sessions because they are not well educated enough, or they're not informed as to how it works and all that, and they are thinking to themselves that, if I book for sessions, my manager's going to know about everything that's happening and all that. They do not know about confidentiality. So I think it's very much important that for the companies that are already there with wellness team, psychoeducation is important. Inform the employees on how it works and also the confidentiality. For those companies where there's no wellness team yet, it's important to introduce like a wellness team so that people can be able to book for sessions and be in touch with themselves. Because like I said, when emotionally a person is not okay, a lot of things are not going to work out, not only in the aspect of work, but personal matters as well. And then now answering your question, let's
Mm.
start with the first one, psychological safety. I want you to process that.
Hey. I'm glad to be.
Psychological safety, feeling safe to say I am stuck, feeling safe to say I messed up.
Mm,
By that, I'm saying that HR leaders, they must be able to create a psychological safety for their employees to be able to express how they feel so that when they messed up, they're able to say, you know what, I think I messed up. They're able to say, I am stuck. Because now when people are trying to make resilience look like you've got it figured out, people are scared to say that I'm stuck, because they want to cover the work all on themselves. So psychological safety is very much important. Creating that psychological safety for the employees to be able to express their feelings and all that. Clear roles and ownership. It's important to be clear with the roles that everyone is given. There are times where you would find employees complaining about, let's say that there's a project that is coming, depending on the kind of work that a person is doing. They are not informed about the project and all that. They're only informed last minute. And
mm,
because of that, it doesn't give that person enough time to be able to know their part and all that. So clear roles and ownership. Everyone must know their part even in chaos, right?
yes.
And then recovery rhythms. It's important. It's important to know when to rest. It's important to know when to take a break. It's important to have boundaries. Boundaries are very much important.
Mm,
So it's important that you are able to rest. And when I say rest, here's another thing. People can say that, I was resting because I wasn't touching work, I was just sitting down, but their brain is still busy thinking about work. It's important that you give your brain a break and then you go back to work and all that. And then another thing is we already touched up on that one, emotional intelligence. So so I'm not really gonna go into that one again. And then last but not least, leadership behavior. Um, they must practice being the models of calmness, clarity, and permission to pause and communication. So
yeah,
those are the things that are very much important. Those are
right.
the strategies. Yes.
Because we did say, we want both structural and behavioral. So I think the way you
Yes.
put them, it actually worked out. Like you said,
Mm.
workload management,
Yes.
we're just going over them again, guys. It's
Mm.
workload management. So that's
Yes.
just like ensuring realistic expectations and
Yes.
resource
There must be clear,
allocation.
clear roles and
Yeah,
ownership.
you see,
Yes.
clear
Mm.
priorities because
Yes.
we want to reduce ambiguity by
Mm.
defining what matters the most. So clear priorities,
Definitely.
guys. And,
Yes.
regular check-ins. It shouldn't be
Mm.
all about work. We want to create a
Mm.
space for open conversation.
Psychological safety.
You see? Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. And just check on the well-being, psychological
Mm.
safety. And
Yes.
also just having a flexible workplace practices, so that you can
Yes,
allow
definitely.
autonomy where it's possible. So, we
Mm.
want that those flexible workplaces, guys,
Mm.
and access to wellness resources. Like you were saying, have a wellness
Yes.
team that will be doing
Wellness
the
team.
coaching, the
Yes, but
counseling.
not forgetting people being psychoeducated on how it works and how it's done. It's
Done.
important. Yes.
Okay, you see, yes,
Mm.
yes, yes. I like that. I like that. Cause yeah,
Yes.
I think that was something that will be part of a employee wellness program, right?
Yes,
Yes, yes.
definitely.
And like the last one you said, we are encouraging boundaries, right? And
Hmm.
we want to promote a culture where, rest is respected.
It's
So
yes.
you can still send in that 2 a.m. email, even though you are working, but respectfully, I'm going to
Yes.
answer it in the morning.
In the morning.
You see?
Definitely, definitely, because rest is very much important. It's very
Yes.
much important.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. So, the goal is not to eliminate stress, but to make it
Mm-hmm.
manageable and sustainable,
Yes.
right? Okay.
Definitely.
I
Because
like
stress is going to be there, challenges are going to be there. You know, the problem is never really the problem, but how you handle the problem. How you
problem.
come out of a situation is what matters the most.
Okay.
The
One,
problems are going to come, stress is going to come, challenges are going to come, but how you're going to come out of it matters the most.
no.
Practice resilience.
Practice resilience. Thank you. Thank you
Yes.
so much. So, I also want to talk about, creating sustainable, high-performing work environments. And when it comes to this, there's, they say sustainability performance comes from consistency and not burnout. So, how
Yes.
can, organizations balance high performance with, employee well-being?
With employee well-being.
Mhm.
I think, like you already said, on the past topic, that regular check-ins, you know, it's very much important, but also confidentiality, because with that one, there are cases where, as much as there's regular check-ins, people don't feel safe when now they are open to their HR about certain things, and then after then they hear that someone knows about what's happening in their life and stuff like that. So confidentiality must be managed. It's very much important. And then also limitation when it comes to micromanagement. It's okay to check in and see if the work has been done, but don't overdo it. There must be limitations. Create that trust. Be able to trust your employees, because for them to be hired, it means it means that they qualified for the position that they had.
Mhm.
So when trust is built, I think that it can actually create high performance, because people will be able to feel free to talk about ideas, to challenge themselves, and to get the work done, without feeling the pressure, and without being on the state of perfectionism or doubts, because where there's not trust, it creates doubts, where the person starts doubting themselves if they can get the work done. They feel like for the work to get done, it means that I must go through the HR and all that. So they must be able to own their ideas, own their work, and yeah.
Well,
Unless if they, what is there something that maybe you wanted to add up on that?
no, no,
So I
I
can
was.
see you did your research.
Yes, yes, I did,
Yes.
because in order to achieve balance, like you were saying, also,
Mm.
we need to shift from always on to, a always on culture to a focused productivity because
Yes.
I can't say, I'm doing this, and then you say, I just have to do something. Can you do it, Kamu? Now you have two tasks, you want that
Yes,
focused priority, productivity, you
definitely.
know, and,
Definitely.
measure outcomes, not just activity. 'Cause
Mm,
projects or whatever task you do, maybe it's everything at work is very important, right? I don't want to
yes.
justify and say some people are busier than others,
Yes.
But, we must measure an outcome instead of just, seeing me busy there, You should have an
Mm,
outcome with the tasks that are given, And also to build
definitely.
recovery into workplace, workflows, People should have
Mm,
breaks, they should take leaves, they should
mm,
realistic deadlines. And
definitely.
yes,
I
and
actually like that because also sometimes HRs or leaders they tend to be more focused on the outcomes and they forget about the well-being of the employees.
that's true, that's true. Because
Yes. So there must
also,
be balance.
yeah, there must be balance because,
Yes.
high performing teams are not those that work the hardest, but those
Mm-hmm.
that work the smartest over time.
Yes.
Yes. So yeah, I like that statement. Yes, and when I saw
Definitely.
when I saw it, it intrigued me very much.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so as we close, there are some key takeaways that I'm sure you guys took from this. And,
Mm.
organizations need to move from reacting to stress to building resilience internally. So what I
Yes.
mean by this is, just investing in leadership development, like we've been
Mm.
talking about from the start, leadership
Yes.
is the core. Like we said, it doesn't start from employee level, but it starts from the management, the leadership. So investing,
Mm.
in the leaders, that's something organizations should do. And
Yes.
also talked about, embedding emotional intelligence into the
Mm-hmm.
team culture. So I hope that's the point that everybody, because I know a lot of people they related to this, So
Yes.
and also designing work environments that support people and don't drain them
Mm.
because
Yes.
resilient teams don't just handle pressure better, they perform better,
Mm.
they stay longer, and they
Yes.
contribute more meaningfully. So they don't just do it for getting it done, but it has a purpose around it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. The practical tools, self-awareness, let's not forget self-awareness, support system, and self-care is very much important. Don't forget to take care of yourself in
Uh-huh.
the process of getting the work done.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so
Yes.
much, Rendani, for your wonderful insights today. I really appreciate it. Your insights, I'm sure they're gonna help an organization out there. So maybe if you can just let the people, or our audience, where they can find you and how they can contact you, and you can do that.
Oh, yes, thank you so much. So, let's start with the first one that everyone is using nowadays, WhatsApp. So, you can contact me on WhatsApp on 071 135 7136. And also, you can call on the same number as well, or send an email to info@hrscouncil.co.za.
Wonderful,
Yes.
wonderful. And we also have a LinkedIn on here, so you can give
Yes.
a young direct message there, and I'm sure she'll attend you.
Definitely, definitely. And it's showing there on the screen. So you can just send me a DM on LinkedIn as well. Ready to assist.
Wonderful. Thank you
Yes.
so much, Rendani. So, guys, you heard it from us. Resilient teams don't happen by chance. They are
Mm,
intentionally built through leadership, culture,
Yes.
and strategy.
Mm,
Organizations that invest in resilience today, they position themselves for stronger performance, lower
mm,
turnover, and long-term success. So this
yes.
was our, 2 cents to you guys. Thank you so much for joining. And, as it comes to the end of, because it was a two-part series, so we hope
Yes.
maybe we can extend, these sessions into Workers' Month. Uh, you know,
Mm,
just build around a nice theme around it. And maybe we can have
yes.
back, Rendani, back on the show, and,
Yes.
maybe we can give you more insights, or we can bring up back
Mm,
again Tavita from the first session, and
yes.
let's dedicate and just build this awareness around employees and stigmas.
Mm,
Oh yeah, yeah, that's
yes.
my plan for the rest of May. So just be
Mm,
on the lookout on our social media platforms, because we'll be always updating on our next session. Okay, guys?
yes.
So thank you so much, Randy. Yeah, it was quite an insightful session.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you so much as well on your side.
And guys, don't forget, these sessions, we are not just doing them, for
Mm,
fun or for the sake of it. We are actually building
yes.
awareness. So follow our
Mm,
page, and yeah, you'll see a lot of updates around these issues, and
mm,
cause yeah, I think that's my contribution to the world, just giving this
yes.
awareness and everything. So thank you so much, guys. I'll see you on my next session. Just have check my LinkedIn page for more updates.
Thank you.
Bye bye, Randy.
Bye.
Okay.